What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex. You watching a Ragin Ronin review. I got a review for you. Last Friday, I saw Edge of Tomorrow, and Edge of Tomorrow is Tom Cruise's latest entry to the science fiction action genre, and he has come up with so many of these science fiction action films, from Oblivion to War of the Worlds to Minority Report, and of course the Mission Impossible sequels, which aren't exactly science fiction, but they're still a lot of fun to watch. And as long as he's making these types of movies, I'm gonna be there because I love a lot of his films that he comes out with, and Edge of Tomorrow is no different, okay? And I'll tell you about it in just a second. First of all, I want to say that this film is directed by Doug Liman, and I like Doug Liman's films. He's directed The Bourne Identity, which was really good. He's also directed Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is also great. I also liked his very first film, which is Go. Go is not even an action film, but I loved the storytelling aspect of the film. Now, with regards to Edge of Tomorrow, I'm sure you guys have already seen the marketing for the movie, and you guys already know it's a Groundhog Day style science fiction concept. And what that really is that every time something happens to Tom Cruise's character, he wakes up and then the day resets, and then he continues that over and over and over again until he does something different. That is the basic concept of the film. That is the foundation of the film. It's a foundation that we've already seen before in movies like Groundhog Day, and also The Source Code, and also I think in a couple of episodes of Star Trek, or rather just one episode, I'm not sure, I didn't watch that episode, but apparently in an episode of Star Trek, they explored that exact same concept. And what it really is, in a way, is that it's repetitive time travel, because you're doing the same thing. You're going back in time from where you started, you resetted, right? And then you're doing everything all over again, but because you remember what happened previously, you are just doing things differently, all right? And you're aware of what's going to happen. So in a way, it is kind of like time travel, all right? But a lot of people were very skeptical about this film. I think the main reason why is because of that repetitive nature of the concept, the Groundhog Day concept, constantly waking up over and over and over again. It's almost kind of like Vantage Point. There's a movie called Vantage Point, and they tell the story, the same story over and over and over again from various perspectives rather. And I think a lot of the audiences were concerned that this movie is just going to feel so repetitive because Tom Cruise is reliving the day over and over and over again. Well, let me tell you something. If there is going to be one movie that does the Groundhog Day concept the best, it is Edge of Tomorrow. And the main reason why is because of the pacing. It is perfectly paced, and I'm positive that he probably did the whole waking up and resetting of the day probably at least 20 times or 30 times, or who knows. But you eventually lose track, mainly because they don't go through all the steps over and over and over again. I think it's done really, really well. They made it in a way it doesn't feel repetitive. In fact, it feels fun and funny. Alright, because one thing about Tom Cruise's character that I really, really like is that it's very different from anything that we've ever seen. Tom Cruise puts on a great performance just because he's a little bit more obnoxious than he has been in other films. And what he does differently in this film compared to all the other roles that he's ever done is that he's not playing a hot shot. Top Gun, he was a hotshot fighter pilot. Mission Impossible, he's a hotshot spy. Jerry Maguire, he's a hotshot sports agent, okay? He's not playing a hotshot in this movie. Instead, he's kind of clumsy in this movie. He's actually kind of bumbling, and he doesn't know what's going on. In fact, he's kind of clueless, and that's what I like about his character. And what's great is that as the movie progresses, you see that character development. And with that character development, you see the story development, which is really, really great. I think a lot of audiences will be very pleased to see that kind of character development because, like I said before, he's not a hot shot. At least he doesn't start off as one. Maybe closer to the second half of the film, he starts getting used to the way things are, and he's self-aware. But at the beginning, he's definitely a lot like that. And I really appreciate that aspect about his character. So I think this is one of Tom Cruise's best roles to date because it's very different from what I'm used to him playing. So I like his character a lot. Now, Bill Paxton also puts on a good performance as the major. Is he a major or the general? I forgot, but I love his role in the movie just because you know, he starts off at like your typical drill sergeant, and then later on, as the movie progresses, you see him also, you know, go through his own kind of changes. And then there's Emily Blunt's character, which, you know, she does a decent job, but I have to say that out of all the characters in the movie, I think her character is probably a little bit weak, mainly because she needs Tom Cruise to help her carry that chemistry or carry the story forward. Emily Blunt alone can't carry the story, all right? You need that character that Tom Cruise plays so that there's that chemistry there, which was decent. I won't say it was great, but I gotta tell you that this movie is all Tom Cruise. It is great. Now let's talk about the action. The action is awesome, okay? Great visuals, especially when they're doing battle, okay? All the battle sequences look great, especially in 3D. The 3D is decent for the whole movie, but I have to say that the 3D is the best when you see the battle in a grand scale. It looks great, okay? And I'm not just talking about the 3D, I'm talking about the action itself. The action is spectacular. It's not like, I wouldn't say that it's epic and, you know, like that it's very grand, but it's grand in scale, and the action is pretty high energy. And I'll tell you that the best moments in the movie are whenever they pull out the shoulder cannons. Oh my god, the shoulder cannons are so cool. Okay, as a nerd, I completely fanboyed out when I watched the shoulder cannons because I saw how much damage they do. Alright, so I'm really, really satisfied with this film. I have to say that this film would really be the start of the summer movie season for me. I mean, we had a lot of films like The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and also Godzilla and X-Men Days of Future Past, but I can't say that like they were like a lot of fun. They were great films, but they're not nearly as fun as Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow is, by definition, a true summer popcorn film. Okay, it's fun, it's funny, and it's action-packed. Okay, and that's what I love about this film. It's really action-packed. The pacing is great. You never once feel bored, and I think that they took the whole concept of the repetitive, the Groundhog Day concept, and they did it the best in this movie. So it's really, really great. Now, the only complaint that I have about this movie is just one thing. Okay, just one very single thing, and that is I wish we could understand the aliens a little bit more. I wish we could understand that, okay? Of course, the film is told through the perspective of the good guys, but we never really truly understand the aliens. The way we understand the aliens for the human characters is that they understand them through theory, all right? But other than that, I'm really curious. They are a very fascinating antagonist, and it would have been cool to know more about them. That's the only complaint that I have, and I'm not sure how they would have done that anyways, or explained that, but it would have been cool to know more about the aliens. This is a movie where you just have to put aside your senses of reality and really just relax and watch a good time. It's a summer popcorn movie, and I gotta give it 8.75 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. I recommend that you watch it in 3D or IMAX 3D. Alright? 8.75 out of 10. As always, if you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, @RaginNation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. They're gonna be Jaegers versus Jaegers, and the reason why they're doing this is because they need to make Pacific Rim 2 very different from the original.